How to set up ID and MIC panels using the BD Phoenix AP. At the end of this presentation, the technologist will be able to process BD Phoenix ID broth tubes using the BD Phoenix AP instrument, inoculate BD Phoenix NID, PID, NMIC 311, and PMIC 108 panels, and load inoculated panels into the BD Phoenix M100 instrument. Regardless of the type of panel you're setting up, the ID broth tube is always in the middle row. For the NMIC panel, you will need an 8 milliliter AST broth tube in the back row and a 4.5 milliliter AST broth tube in the front. 4.5 milliliter AST broths are only used for the NMIC panels. For the PMIC panel, you will need an 8 milliliter AST broth tube in the back row. For the NID and PID panels, you only need your ID broth tube in the middle row, since the susceptibility is not being performed, only in ID. Remove all of the caps on the tubes, place the rack on the conveyor belt on the left side of the AP, and press the play button on the screen. Once the rack is finished processing, place the rack on the inoculation station. All of the tube density measurements at the bottom of the login screen should be green and read 0.25 or 0.5. Unwrap the panels and place them on the inoculation station with the barcode facing up. Begin scanning from the bottom up, starting with the barcode on the rack, indicating the position of the tube. Then scan the code on the ID broth tube, followed by the barcode on the panel. Once all of the tubes in the rack have been scanned, click Save on the login screen and turn over all of the panels. When the panels have been saved, Save Complete will appear on the login screen. For the NMIC panels, the 4.5 milliliter AST broth is poured into the left side of the panel, which is narrower, and the 8 milliliter AST broth is poured into the right side. For PMIC panels, the ID broth is poured into the left side of the panel, which isn't necessary for the MIC, but cuts down on the amount of waste. The 8 milliliter AST broth is poured into the right side of the panel. For NID and PID panels, which are not pictured, the ID broth is poured into the left side of the panel. The right side remains empty. The ID broth for the NMIC panels is poured into a waste container. Once the broth has reached the bottom of the panels, cap the panels. Make sure the buttons snap closed. Place the panels in the black holder. Carry the panels over to the M100. Press the panel login button located on the left side of the screen in the middle. Open the door and insert the panels with the buttons facing towards you. Press on all of the buttons of the panels to make sure they're sealed and seated properly in the instrument.